Alright, so here is a quick video about substitution. Remember, this is one way to solve equations, a system of equations. And a system of equations is simply two equations that I'm trying to find a solution for. Okay? So when I substitute one equation for another, I'm going to solve for one of these variables. I'm going to solve for it, and I'm going to plug my answer in back into an equation to get my other value. So I will model that right now. And here are some, you can pause it if you want. Here are some steps if you want. But here we go. Okay, so here's my system. I have y equals, oh, I like this form, because y equals something, right? Y equals something else. If these y's are equal, this y equals this y equals this, that means that these two things equal each other too. That's kind of fun. So now I can play around with this. So what this means is that these two sides are equal to each other. Now, at least I have one variable that now I can solve for. So let's just go for it. I'm going to get rid of my negative x here. So I'm going to add an x to both sides. Add an x. So I am going to end up with 3x over here. And I'm going to end up with negative 9 here. Now my next step is I'm going to get rid of that constant. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Okay. I'm going to end up with 3x equals, well, what's 9 minus 3? Well, that is negative 12. Be careful of that one, right? Then I can divide both sides by 3. So x now equals negative 4. Okay, so go ahead and circle when you get one of your values. It will make it easier in the long run. So this is all step 1. Step 2 is when the substitution comes in a different way. Here's my x value. Now I can use one of my equations, substitute my x value in for an x, and I can find my y. So you should realize that either one I play around with, will work. But I'm going to substitute the negative 4 into, let's just do the first one. Y equals 2, and then negative 4, right? Because that's the x that I'm substituting for, if you think about it, plus 3, okay? Okay, so my next step is y equals negative 8 plus 3. And then negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. Voila. And by the way, if I had substituted this negative 4 into the bottom equation, if I do substitute it, the x, right, negative 4 for x there, I will end up with the same y. So then I have to put this in final coordinate pair form, if you think about it that way, because this is negative 4, comma negative 5. That is my coordinate pair, and that is my solution. So if I had graphed this, these lines would meet at this one point, okay? One more. So here we have, this is kind of an interesting one too. So for this one, I can go ahead and think about, oh, I have a y, which this whole thing is y. Well, what if I just take this whole value of y and stick it in this y up here? Well, let's try it. So I have 2x plus 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sorry, I zoomed out a little bit. I have to keep moving this. Okay, so I have 3, and then for y, remember, if it helps to put a y on top, just to remember, what I'm substituting is this, 5x minus 27. This should be, this, again, is my y. I'm substituting this value for this y. Now, at least I'm speaking the same language. I just have x variables, so now I can just solve for. So my next step, 2x. Now I have to do my winking and smiling. So I'm going to distribute, right? I have 15x minus, because I'm multiplying 3 by negative 27, and that's 81 equals 4. Okay, I'm combining these, they're like terms, 17x minus 81, and I'm doing every step pretty methodically. Now I get to add 81 to both sides. I end up with 17x equals 85. And then, oh, I guess I'll model this, but I'm getting ahead of myself. To get x alone, I'm going to divide both sides by 17, just to show you these steps, line item by line item. If I divide 85 by 17, you know it goes in 5 times. Okay, I'm going to circle that. Okay, so that's my x value. So step 2, that's my first step, right, is solving for x. So my second step, if I think about it, is I get to take this x value and I get to substitute it in. Again, it shouldn't matter which equation I use to substitute it in. I'm just going to choose this one now, though. So y equals 5. Well, the x I just realized or determined is 5. Okay? And then I get to subtract 27. Okay, so y now equals 25 minus 27. And I know 25 minus 27 is negative 2. Okay? So your answer is, we'll circle that. And now I'm going to put it in coordinate pair form. So I have x is 5, because x always comes first, comma, negative 2. That's the ordered pair that makes this true, and this is the solution. I'll just stick with those two for now. Good luck.